Beth Willett, Chair of the Project Zone series here in Europe, and it's my pleasure to have Greg Balestrero with me. He's the former President and CEO of Project Management Institute. Thanks for being with us here today.
Well, thanks for having me here. It's great to be here.
Absolutely fabulous. We wanted to chat with you. We know former is part of that title. Mm-hmm. However, you kind of are the de facto expert across the globe in project management. And so we'd like to ask you your thoughts on how has project management changed in the last 5 years or so? Where do you think it's going in the next 5 to 10?
Well, first of all, let me say that I'm more the de facto champion for project management around the globe.
Okay.
And observer and storyteller and motivator. It's what's given me the opportunity to meet so many people and see so many miracles worked by so many individuals. I think the project management profession has come into its own. It is a profession. No question about it. I think all of us today don't have to sit around and say, are we professionals? It's done. Mm. Now, the brand of that profession, how well it is perceived, and the kind of sparkle that it has really depends specifically on the next 5 years. I think the baseline for any profession is there's no tolerance for incompetence. So the very minimum that a professional must be today is fully competent. That means knowledgeable, experienced, and certified, without a doubt. And they need to stay focused on what excellence is in terms of the discipline. Secondly, I think that we're in a period of absolute dynamic, at times turmoil, going forward. Society is changing. The role, the shared values of organizations with society is changing. I think that we're seeing an absolute revolution in the way technology is beginning to alter the way we communicate, build society and community. And it requires project managers to be more than just a technician. They must be a people person. They must have a propensity and a capacity for change. They must be forever vigilant about what's going on. Risk management can't be a table that's put in a drawer or kept on a computer. Risk management has to be eternal awareness of what's going on in the world, because it's changing daily as we speak, and it affects my project. So those are critical issues for the project manager of the future.
You used an interesting term, dynamic turmoil. When I hear turmoil, I often think of negative things. However, none of your examples were negative. It was really about change.
Yeah.
Is that your intention?
Sure. And I think that nothing is stable in life. Yeah. The only thing we can manage is the way we react to it. If we react to the world as if it's some sort of chaotic, uncontrollable beast, then that is the way our profession will be perceived. But if we react to it and say, the world is going to change, it's going to change today, tomorrow, the next day, and we're going to have to deal with that, and as a project manager, I'm going to have to lead a team to deal with that, then we'll be in a better place. The world is dynamic. Risk management is dynamic. The entire profession is dynamic, and we have to stay in that level of uncertainty that will never be completely cured.
Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities for project managers in the coming years.
You got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of folks that have approached us here at the Project Zone in Budapest are very new in their role as project managers. Mm-hmm. Could you give some advice to them on how they could prepare and plan for their success in this career?
Well, I think, without a doubt, never stop learning. Be fully competent at the technology and the technique of being a project or program manager. There's no second guessing. Mm-hmm. You can't be second rate. If you're second rate, you won't be employed. So absolutely focus on learning as much as you possibly can in every aspect that you can. Secondly is remember that in all cases, project management is a people discipline. Right. It is not about managing piles of money or electrons or tools and equipment. It's about rallying people together to use tools and equipment and technology to create value in the world. If anything, you're a moderator of value creation. And you have to stay focused on that. So you have to learn how to engage as a leader with people. How do you develop relationships? How do you mitigate and facilitate arguments to create a culture that allows conflict? How do you help other people live in a world of uncertainty? How do you facilitate and encourage and build the capacity for change within an organizational team? Those are the things of the project management of the future. Many people think I have to be certified, I have to know everything, and then I'll be the best. No, that's the minimum. The minimum is you have to be the most competent person. The maximum is, how do I facilitate the creation of value?
Great. There are a lot of folks like yourself. You started as an industrial engineer in your career. You mentioned to me that one of your first jobs, you're actually a project manager, which is a very interesting cycle that your life has taken. So we see a lot of folks that are very technical, engineers, who are fantastic. They're great at what they do. They're great at their technical competence, who are now being asked to make a career change, to be a project manager. Can they be great project managers?
Oh, I think so. I think there's a couple of myths. One is this myth, and I'm glad you brought it up, this myth about changing careers to become a project manager. To me, it's about enhancing your career. If we looked at, now, I was an industrial engineer. The secret is, I was an aerospace engineering major. My dream was to become an astronaut. Then these happened. And they said, astronauts don't wear glasses. Well, what was the next best thing? Getting into an engineering discipline that was very focused on human performance. That's why I got into industrial engineering. And human performance is about managing projects and teams, and I loved that from the very beginning. So I kept enhancing my career. I wasn't giving up careers. I was saying, how do I utilize my abilities to grow? Truthfully, if you're an engineer and they ask you, how do I build a watch that is extremely high value for no more than 200 euros and looks wonderful on your wrist, and you begin telling somebody how a watch is put together, you're not going to be in charge of that team very long. So the enhancement is, how can I use every technical ability I have to facilitate the creation of value? And that's the enhancement. And it should be in every career. We shouldn't have isolated careers where they don't think about, what's the value cycle that I'm in? What's the value proposition that I'm creating?
So you bring up a very interesting possibility. There are so many folks across the globe that are being put without their choice into what's been called a career transition. And the truth is, they could use project management, from what I'm hearing, to create a career transition that's really that value add, that enhancement, not really a change, but an enhancement of the skills that they have.
Absolutely. I really think that's a crucial perspective that one has to have, is not to fear the transition, but to look at it as an expansion. When we think about a great mechanical engineer or a physician's assistant or someone who's working in pharmaceutical research or creating a new cell phone application, there is an opportunity to create it, but until it is utilized and valued, it's nothing. It's unfortunately something to keep people idle. So it means that we expand it and say, I'm creating an application for use in a cell phone, and I know that when I've created this, people are going to use it, appreciate it, and respect the company and value the brand of the company I work for that reason. I've enhanced my value to the company, I've enhanced my career, and I've done it through project management. So I really think we all have to look at ourselves as at the project management discipline as, career enhancer, value enhancer for the organization, a way of delivering on the value promise or the value proposition that the organization has.
So you've mentioned learning, you've mentioned dealing with and managing people, you've mentioned certification. If someone is facing that opportunity for a career enhancement, are there a couple specific steps you would say, take these steps, they'll serve you well, be a good foundation for you?
Yeah, I think more than anything else, if you're making a mid-career change, find a mentor. Find the best project manager in the organization, go up to them, raise your hand and say, I want to be your friend. I want to learn everything I can. And then say, how do I get to be as good as you are? Follow that person's shadow around. And I think mentoring, when we think backwards in our career, what greater thing to have than to someone ask you, will you be my mentor? It's a wonderful thing. It's an honor, and it's humbling. And I think that's number one. So that's the way I would start. And then, what do I have to do to be the best in this business at being a project manager? Because anything less than fully competent is not acceptable. So those two things are the starters. The mentor, how do I get to be the best at technically, and then find the best project managers and begin to emulate them.